reason we've been telling you for some time now about the massive spike in crime across the country, which not only began in the middle of 2020, during a pandemic no less, but of course right when the BLM movement got going again and the left felt ascendant on criminal justice issues, but it has continued into 2021. In fact, many cities have even worse years in 2021 than they did in 2020. So this is a long-term trend with major ramifications. And to put it into context and to give a sense of what's really going on, at least 12 major U.S. cities, according to ABC News, have broken annual homicide all-time records in 2021. And there are still 3 weeks to go in the year. Of the dozen cities that have already surpassed the grim milestone for killings, 5 topped records that were set or tied just last year. Think about that for a moment. 12 major cities have the biggest annual homicide years ever. That's stunning. Here you go. Here's a map that'll show you the 12 cities that have broken records. It includes Philadelphia, Columbus, Ohio, Austin, Texas, Tucson, Arizona, Portland, Oregon, and St. Paul, Minnesota, among others. This is horrific. I mean, this is, when you add it up, we're talking about hundreds, perhaps even in the thousands of additional people killed over about an 18-month period compared to historic trends in these cities. Something is clearly going on. We all know that. And the American people are seeing these numbers and are becoming increasingly aware that something is up. There's an issue here. So now Democrats have to try to address it by, oh, that's right, finding some scapegoat, finding some cause, or maybe even some external factor that they have no control over. Here is, among the worst mayors in the country, Mayor Lori Lightfoot in Chicago. Here she is blaming the violence in her city. Over 700 murders in Chicago for the past year. Think about that for a second. It's stunning how many people are being killed in Chicago. Here's Lori Lightfoot blaming the rise in violent crime on COVID-19.
Chicago is set to pass, or has passed, 800 homicides this year. Your reaction and what can be done to stop it?
I want to be clear, we're not at 800. And obviously, we're working every single day to end homicides in our city. We don't want to see that number rise above where it's at. But look, I've said this before, this is a very challenging time. And I think the crime wave that we've been experiencing, other major cities across the country, like New York, like LA, St. Louis, DC, Atlanta, Denver, and places that don't normally see high levels of crime, places like Austin, Texas, all of us are challenged in this time. Every single part of our public safety infrastructure has been dramatically impacted by COVID.
COVID, she's saying. Interesting. People are shooting more people. Criminals are being more violent because of COVID? That's interesting, especially considering that during the lockdown period, there were far fewer people on the streets, that there are many more people who are in their homes, and generally there's less contact outside the home where most murders and most shootings are going to occur. But let's even take it beyond murders and homicides for a second, or murder rather and shootings. Here is a moment in time where we're seeing all these viral videos of people doing massive robberies of retail establishments. Sometimes it's just the petty shoplifting, except in broad daylight and people filling bags full of stuff. Other times it's high-end stores, handbags that cost thousands of dollars each, and there's a clear, organized effort to go in and steal as much as possible.